Welcome back to the Glacial Gold Hunter. Today we got a classifier challenge to do. Now this is a classifier that I normally use. It's a 1/4-inch classifier and it came with the panning kit that I bought. This is the world's greatest classifier designed by the Flower Gold Wizard. I finally built one for myself. We're going to test it too and see which one works better. Now in case you don't know, we travel around the Midwest, mainly Minnesota and Wisconsin, and we look for the gold that was brought down by the glaciers from Canada. Now this is a creek that I've been to before. Creek. And we found pretty good gold here. There's a good mixture of boulders and cobbles and sands and gravels. Lots of good places to dig, but the first thing I gotta do is find a place to set up, so I'm gonna do some testing. Now one of the nice things about this classifier is it fits right into my pan like so. So I can classify all the big boulders and cobbles, well not boulders, but cobbles and bigger gravels that I don't want to necessarily be panning out. Once I got my sample, I just start twisting it like so, classifying all those bigger pieces out. Just like that, and I got this uniform size of pea gravel. Now lots of people pan without classifying at all. That's totally fine, but I found that when I have those bigger rocks in there, bigger pieces of gravel, it makes it a lot more turbulent, and I've lost gold doing it that way. So classifying it down, it takes a little bit more time, but I have a better recovery. Now if you're just testing, maybe that doesn't matter. You're still gonna see the specs you wanna see. Or maybe I just need panning practice, but I do better when I classify. So we'll give this a test. All right, let's see if there's gold in our first pan. Wouldn't that be something? A little bit. Sweet. So there's two tiny little specks right there. I don't know if that's enough to make me stay right here. I might look for better ground, but it's good to see. Well, that's kind of how these classifiers work, but I'm gonna keep looking for better ground and then I'll show you how the other classifier works. So I did a bit of testing. I found a lot of lead. Anyway, I came up here and I found this inside bend and there's a lot of cobbles here. So it's a big cobble field and it's all mixed with sand. I took a test and I found a good number of specks. Not big, but there's more. So I think this is a place that I'm gonna set up. Now with this classifier, it's designed to kind of fit right in the top of a bucket and sit right there. And it works just fine. 100%, there's nothing wrong with it. It gets everything nice and clean. And I can fill this all the way to the top with material, classified material. But you guys have seen me do that a million times. Now this one sits in there just like so. And the theory is all these corners are going to help jostle it around. That's why he called it jostling. And it's going to classify material a lot quicker. It's made out of this 2-foot by 2-foot punch plate. This sheet costs about 40 bucks. Along with the handles and screws and stuff, it's going to cost you about 50 bucks to make this. That looks like it's clean already. Oh, just a few shakes and that's done. I think this is going to be way faster. Sweet. Now with this classifier, I think it's going to be a little bit harder for me to fill the bucket all the way to the top, but that doesn't matter at all. You don't need to do that for any reason. unless you want to measure specifically how much you got. But that worked way faster than that other thing. I can't believe I waited this long to make one of these.
All the wasted years!
I'm not going to make a video on showing you how I built this. Jason did a fantastic job showing the step-by-step process. I followed his video, so I'll link it below if you want to make your own. But wow, I can't believe I waited so long. This is like 10,000 times better than that other one. So, now let's start running it already. Guess what I forgot? Again. My dang scooper. Gosh, never remember that thing. I'll get this going. A little slow. These dream mats, as far as I know, are supposed to be able to run a lot of material quickly, so I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. So that bucket's gone through. I see a lot of lead. Should name this river the Lead River. I don't see any visible gold. Let's see. Let's see what our first run yielded. Whoa. That fell out. It's not the fastest way, but it's probably the better way. I hope there's some gold in there. A lot of black sand. Look at all that black sand. I figure if it's catching that much black sand, it's catching the gold. We don't clean it up all the way out here. We're just going to take a peek. Ooh. Yep. That's why I come to this creek. It's got nice pieces of gold. Let me show you. So there's two nice pieces in the black sand there, and then all along the edge, nice pieces of flour gold. Now this classifier, it's basically like a handheld trommel. I'm gonna be able to go through way more buckets of material way faster and get a whole lot more gold. So let's get some more gold. I should have had it set a little bit higher. See how the handles kind of get below the bucket? I can maybe adjust that. So let's do an experiment. I'll take my old classifier and put on there. I'll take 2 heaping scoops on there and see how long it takes to classify down, and then compare it to Jocelyn. So there's 2 scoops. Let me start the timer. "12 seconds. I got 12 seconds. All right, now Jocelyn. Go. Nine seconds. Well, it's pretty clearly just better. Alright, so I got 2 buckets here full of material. They're not as full as I usually fill them, but that's okay. Makes it easier to carry, that's for sure. And I'm going to run both buckets down the sluice before I clean it out. Normally I clean it out every bucket, but I don't think I really have to do that. There we go. Hey, what does this remind you of?
I'm thinking, thinking.
It's not happening with him.
Huh? This is the peaceful part of prospecting. Gentle stream, all by yourself in the woods, sound of the river, and gold collecting with every scoop. I've had people comment and say I'm wasting my time. I have yet to even once go out prospecting and come away thinking it was a waste of time. So there's the last of it, 2 buckets back to back. So 2 buckets back to back. I don't know if there's twice as much gold as the first time, but there's some nice pieces of gold. And there's some more pieces in the black sand. Still gold here, so I'm gonna keep running. Right here is a big boulder. I haven't really found much underneath them, but I have done well around them. So I'm gonna excavate all around this boulder and see what there is to find. Look at that, broken glass. There's broken glass everywhere. You know what that means? Someone called Jeff Williams. I just found Slim. Well, part of him. Actually, I think it's a rib. It's about my size. This must have been the last prospector that was here. So I dug all around that rock, and that'll be the next bucket. Okay, this is around that boulder. See how many pickers were there. That's it from around that boulder. Some nice pieces. I was hoping for more though, but I'll take it. Well, I guess that's always a question of where the gold is, if there's more here or there. I didn't find too much along the boulder, so I'm going to scooch a little bit that way and fill up another bucket. Maybe the gold's depositing closer towards the bank. Or maybe I should just stay right in this line. We'll keep testing and we'll find out. So there's a few specks, but definitely not as much as we were getting. So we started digging right about here, and we saw some pretty good numbers of specks. Then we tried around the boulder, and I didn't see as many. And then I scooted in a little bit and dug closer to the bank, and again I didn't see as many specks. So for whatever reason, there's nothing here visually that I can point to, but the string of gold is a little bit stronger right here. So I'm just gonna follow this string a little bit. Hopefully there's some more specks. But if my theory is correct and there's kind of a string of gold here, we should see more gold in this bucket. So let's run it. And skadoosh. And it's gone. So we ran that through, and look what we got. I accidentally dumped all the specks in the classified bucket before I filmed it. So imagine it just looked like this. Just take my word for it.
Uh-huh, yeah, right.
So there are a few more specks there. It's not a lot, but I think that does show that it does matter where you dig in the stream bed. You want to follow that string. Every day I come out prospecting, I learn a little bit more. I'm able to read the river a little bit better, and it's tons of fun. But I think that's about it for me, so let's pack up and we'll head on back to the shop and tally it all up. Alright, we're back at headquarters with our concentrates. We're going to clean it up. So to do that, I'm just going to take my kitchen strainer and classify it all to one uniform size. I don't have fancy strainers, but a kitchen strainer works pretty well. And I think I need to start showing all the garbage I pull out of the creeks, just to show that prospectors clean up the place instead of making a mess. Here's all my pieces of glass, big piece of glass, and even a little plastic flower that was way down there in the ground. I don't know what this is, big piece of metal, but we got some trash out of there too. So it's all classified, all my finds are right here, and that's where all the gold is really going to be. But I always check the bigs just to make sure I'm not losing any nuggets. There were no nuggets. But all that lead shot that we got is there, and there's a whole pile of garnets. And there are some fine specks of gold that got stuck in there too, so I'll clean that up and add it to the finds. Now to clean the rest of it, I got my Flour Gold Wizard cleanup sluice. There we go. So it's all run through and I see gold all the way in zone 1, zone 2. Down lower I see a few pieces of lead but no gold. Now let's pan it. Well, there's definitely spots on that river with a bit more gold, but I like to go to different places and see different parts of the rivers that I prospect, even if it means finding a little less gold. There wasn't quite enough to weigh in that one, but we got a few more specs. And we found out that our new classifier works way better than the old one. So that'll help in the future for sure. It's all a learning game, and it's a fun game to play. Thank you guys for watching. Come on back for the next one. Bye-bye.